So we have limbs, massive limbs. I'm talking 16-inch, 18-inch limbs down all over this property. Probably 20 or 25 limbs. There's some right outside my back door. And let's see. This is just one. This is just the back of my shop trailer. I have more in the front of my shop trailer, and in Bev's yard, and over in my yard there, I have a tree down, and then way over in the corner, I've got massive limbs down. So we found a guy that wants the wood, all of it except for the sweet gum, which is fine. We've already gotten rid of the sweet gum, just about all of it. So we find this guy, and he comes over, and he goes to cutting, and we tell him that he can't get a trailer or a truck to the wood, so he'll have to get the wood to his trailer. So that doesn't appear to be a problem. But in the course of a day, he finds out that I work on chainsaws. And I make it very clear to him that I only work on my chainsaws. And I don't repair stuff for people because, that's just not my thing. And so he tells me about the biggest steel chainsaw that they make. I think it's a 660 or something like that. He said it'll run for a little while and then quit. Run and then quit. He said now he can't even get it to pop off at all. And I suggested to him that the way you determine whether it's a carburetor issue or an electrical issue is you just pull a plug, put a little gas in there, and if it cranks and, runs till the gas runs out of the cylinder, it's probably a carburetor problem. And if it still won't pop off, it could be anywhere from spark plug to coil to ground wire to, it would be more likely an electrical problem than a fuel problem. So he says, well, I'll bring it over to you and you can have a look at it. I said, no. I don't work on people's equipment. And he says, well, it's probably just something simple. And in my mind, I'm thinking, well, if it's just something simple, you would have already had it fixed. So obviously it's not something simple. And I don't want to take the time from making my knives to work on somebody else's equipment. And I made it very clear that I was real busy making knives. And I told him over and over, I do not work on people's equipment. If you want some advice, I'd be glad to tell you what to do. But I don't work on people's equipment. So he comes over the next day, and what the hell do you think he brings? He brings that chainsaw. He says, I brought that chainsaw with me. I thought you could take a look at it. And I said, mister, I said I don't work on people's equipment. At all, ever, for anybody. I've been that route. I've had friends who it's all I did was work on their equipment over and over and over. And they'd bring it back to me the next year, suffering from the same kind of abuse, and I'd have to go through the same nonsense to get it started. I do not work on equipment for people at all. And I'm sorry, but you're just going to have to bring that saw back. I can't, and this is not the first time. Now, I know I'm probably ranting or maybe even whining. I don't know. But I'm just scratching my head at people who take advantage. I had another friend, Doc. He worked for the water department at Sibley, where I used to work. I fixed his weed eater for him one time, free of charge. Didn't charge him. Fixed his weed eater. It was actually a carburetor. I put a new carburetor on it and got it cranked up and running good. Gave it back to him, and he said, what do I owe you? I said, nothing, Doc. We're friends. Don't worry about it. So, like a week and a half later, he comes back with another piece of equipment. And they said, can you look at this for me? And I said, well, Doc, I can't go, stopping what I'm doing and working on equipment. I mean, I helped you out with a weed eater, but I can't keep doing that. So I went ahead and fixed whatever it was. I can't remember. And then it was a riding lawnmower that he wanted me to come take a look at his house. He couldn't get it started. So suddenly, because I helped him out once, and this is just what somebody else used to do, I helped them out once, and the next thing you know, I'm their mechanic for free for the rest of their life. And I had to put my foot down. I said, Doc, I can't do it, man. I've got way too many other things. At that time, I was still a long-haul trucker. I mean, I can't do my job, plus come home and take care of my yard, plus work on equipment for free for people. I just can't do it. And that's happened to me so many times. You know, I tell them, look, I don't work on equipment for people. I work on my own stuff, and that's it. Well, how about if I bring over... did you just not hear what I said? And that is exactly what this guy yesterday did. The day before, I said over and over and over, I do not work on other people's equipment. I'm be glad to offer you some advice if you want to try to fix it. And the next day he brings it over to me and assumes I'm going to fix it for him. I'm just blown away. Anyway, I'm done. I've just been, and I'm sitting here sanding on a knife. I have lots of time to think. And I was just thinking about the audacity of some people. And it's not just once, it's many, many times over the course of my life. If I don't stop it, I become their mechanic. And for free. Alrighty, I've got Frank's dinner skinner in here. I got both sides sanded up to 120. I'm waiting for him to contact me and tell me whether he wants a satin finish or stone wash finish. And I've emailed him, and as soon as he emails me back, I'll know I'm going to take it up to 320, because 320 is where I stop if it goes to be stone washed. But if he wants a satin finish, I'll take it up to 400, and then put it on my Scotch-Brite belts on that grinder right there. So in the meantime, I got these three ready to have the bevels ground. And this is Glenn's, Jeff's, and 454s. So let me get back to sanding. I feel better now. I got to vent. I forgot the rest of the story. The guy who I told not to bring his chainsaw to me because I don't work on other people's equipment and brought the chainsaw to me, walks into my trailer here, just walks in, wanders his way through this trailer, and then finds me down here. I didn't invite him in here. I didn't tell him where I was. He just came in the trailer all on his own. And I was in here. I had the door closed. I was behind it vacuuming. I had my vacuum when I was cleaning up over here before I started this batch of knives. And he opens the door, scares the crap out of me. And he says, hey, can I use your bathroom? And I'm thinking, well, hell, you done come in my house. Go ahead. So he uses the bathroom. And today I discovered it wouldn't flush. And I know why. This guy took the biggest dump in the universe, stopped up my toilet, and I just spent about an hour with a plunger in a toilet full of, that's what it was full of, not even my own, plunging the toilet. And I finally got it all to go where it's supposed to go, and I didn't get any on me, so there's no need to, take an acid bath or anything like that. Okay, that was the end of that story. Back to the knife. Here's an example of completely, totally unobservant, narcissistic. Some millennials can be. The guy in this truck come flying in here, and where he's parked, that's the only place to get up on that sidewalk is this handicap ramp right here in front of his truck. Underneath this truck is all these yellow hash marks, don't park here. And the thing is, there's a parking space right on the other side of it. And, I thought, I should tell him that he's blocking the only access to the sidewalk that people in wheelchairs or older folks with canes have to get up on the sidewalk. But He wouldn't care. That's just how people are nowadays. And he's of the age where if somebody does say something to you like that, especially if he's an older guy like me, then you have to threaten them. And so, just chalk it up to one more idiot douchebag on the planet who cares only about his own comfort and nobody else matters.